Listen, we are here with the woman of the hour. Listen, the one that put all of this fabulousness together, Dr. Gwennetta Wright. You guys clap it up at home. How are you, girl? How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for driving all the way up here to assist me and just be here. And I'm great.
Listen, I'm honored. I am truly honored, and it's turning out amazing. I absolutely love everything that you have going on here. All right, so we're going to get into these questions. I'm sure the tax girlies would love to hear this directly from you. You ready?
Yes, girl.
All right, let's go. So, why was it important for you to create the Taxpreneur Due Diligence Bootcamp brunch?
It was important for me because in our industry, a lot of people talk a lot about making the money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's usually the focus. And of course, that's what your focus should be on, making money. But in our industry, a lot of tax pros are getting fined 30,000 plus in fines every year because they lack the knowledge on compliance. And so my story is my company, between me and two other preparers, we've been through 8 of these examinations. And because we've been through them, we actually walked away with no fines. And that's kind of unheard of in our industry. Now, I would usually not even talk about it because it was a stigma on it because people would think it was something that you was doing wrong because you was going through these examinations. And so we really realized it's a standard in our industry, just like it is in other industries. And because God has allowed us to go through them and to come on the other side, when I was going through them, I used to think that it was the worst thing ever. Like I wanted to get out of the industry. And even though we had 0 fines, I felt like they was kind of picking on us. I felt like they was harassing us. And so I didn't want to be in the industry no more. And so God kind of showed me, like, I brought you through this so that you can go help my people,
Wow.
and when I decided to say, okay, Lord, yes to the assignment because he had showed it to me years ago, but I ran from it. And I didn't, because I know people judge,
Mhm.
like they do now because it's a stigma on it.
Right.
But then when I stopped running from it, then I was like, okay, Lord, I'll do it. And then more tax pros started to come out and they started to feel comfortable about going through these examinations. They felt more open to letting people know that they're actually going through it. And because I have the blueprint of how to actually pass it, I just think it was time to bring awareness to it.
Absolutely. I'm glad you finally took a seat and listened to the Lord because the girls needed this. I needed
Yes.
it. So we thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, moving right along. Okay, what makes this event different from every other tax conference?
Because most tax conferences focus on a lot of different topics. With this conference, it focuses on compliance. That's the niche of the conference. We talk due diligence. We talk about how they can avoid from getting thousands of dollars of fines. Now, I did add additional components to it because I didn't want to make it a gloomy conference, because when you talking the ugly part of doing business, sometimes it can bring a downer to people when they realize that they're
Yep.
not doing what they actually are supposed to do. And
Mm-hmm.
so I wanted to put the two folds of the things they think that should be important when you're doing business, especially in the tax business, and that is teaching them what it takes to market and build a brand so they can increase their clientele and their revenue, and also how to, when you make the money, how to keep the money and don't give it back to the IRS.
Yes, you definitely need all of those components when it comes to being a tax pro. So, why was it important for you to create an event focused on both compliance and business growth?
Because in our industry, people come in and it's looked at as a seasonal business, and the climate of business we are in now, I think a lot of tax pros need income year round. And I think it's important for them to be able to learn. I think it's important for them to learn um, what it takes to really grow, not just as a tax pro or just a tax business, because we're not looked at as we a real business sometimes. And I don't even understand that, but how it takes to actually grow a business.
Because I think sometimes tax pros, they'll work for the for what 4 months and then they're living their best life.
Right.
So I
I
think
used to do that.
well that's good. Well you start, but you do year round, like you said
I
now.
do, but I haven't always.
Not always. Okay.
Yeah, and that's why when you go through something, and you learn better, that's why it's always good as someone who's seasoned in the industry to teach the people not to
Absolutely.
make the same mistakes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What's the one thing tax professionals better leave this weekend understanding?
That the IRS is not playing, and that if you do certain type of returns, which are returns that a lot of people in the low income area taxpayers,
Mhm.
that they actually the credits that they actually get, that you are subject to go through an examination, that nobody's exempt unless you're not doing those types of returns.
Oh, y'all heard that. Okay. All right. Free gem. Free gem.
Mm-hmm.
Last question. What conversation does the tax industry need to start having immediately?
The conversation that we're having this weekend at the boot camp. We need to bring more awareness, more education around not just due diligence, but compliance as a whole. We're not just getting fined. We have taxpayers who are walking away with thousands of dollars that they're owing the IRS. A lot of people are getting garnished. A lot of people are getting liens on their properties. And because nobody talks about it, or a lot of tax pros are not even taught how to help their clients, I think we need to have a bigger conversation on compliance on the tax preparer side and the taxpayer side, so that people are not stuck with all this debt.
All right. Well, you guys heard it from the boss herself. Okay. And let the people know where can I know you guys have seen her all over TikTok, social media, but let them know where to find you.
So where you can find me at is Expert Tax Services. That's my tax company. I still do prepare taxes. So if you're looking for a tax pro that's understand your tax situation and you want to be educated, definitely follow me on all social media outlets. Go to my website at www.experttaxservices.com. That's start with an X and end with an S. And also, if you're a tax preparer who is watching me, definitely I launched my new program, which is Taxpreneur Compliance Inner Circle. And that is where I am coming up with the solutions for more tax pros in the industry to be able to be compliant, but not only you to be compliant, for you to have the education to make your team compliant.
Well, there you go. And there you have it. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, girl.